Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 1999's The Sixth Sense, which was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
Is that how you say his last name? Is it Shyamalan?
I've always just kind of like half-assed it and like M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. Because it looks like it could be like Shyamalan. Shyamalan.
I'm sure there's a way he prefers it. I just don't know it off the top of my head. The way I've heard it is like M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, me too. But I've heard other people recently say it differently, and I'm like, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Anyways, what a freaking good movie.
When Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense, I jizzed in my pants.
Oh yeah,
Bro.
that's one of the funniest lines about it.
Can I kick off?
Yeah, please.
I never appreciated this movie as much as I should have. This is such a great movie. Such a great movie. Like, I have not seen this in 20 years. I went to see this in theaters with my mom and sister in, I believe it was 1999, 2000. I saw it in theaters. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, way too young. This movie is PG-13, but what a fantastic movie.
It's so much scarier the first time you see it, and then like knowing what's coming and all that stuff. Like, I think it's more sad than scary.
It's so sad, dude. I didn't realize how sad it was until like the room was getting dusty a few times.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when the grandmother scene and the butterfly pendant, I was kind of tearing up, and then the ending, I'm like, wow, this is a lot sadder than I remember.
Oh, dude, the scene in the car where it's like, "What did you say to her, mama?" And they like hug. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it got dusty. It got a little. There's something in both my eyes.
Okay, so it's like, obviously, this is M. Night Shyamalan's first movie, first written and directed movie, just huge success out of the gate. You've got Bruce Willis, coming out of like Pulp Fiction and or The Fifth Element, and then into this, you got this amazing kid actor, Haley Joel Osment, coming off of Forrest Gump and Pay It Forward, and then into this. But the standout to me, again, Toni Collette, dude.
It's great. I thought you were going to say Donnie Wahlberg for a second. I really thought you were going to say that's a fantastic performance too. But Toni Collette, I don't know what movie she thinks she's in. Is it a horror movie? Is it a drama? She's just acting perfectly.
She's so good. I mean, dude, we've obviously talked about her in Hereditary, and then I love her in Little Miss Sunshine. She did another movie that we watched. I can't remember what it was, but
Oh, I'm thinking of Ending Things.
yes, that's right. She's amazing at it. Dude,
Yeah.
she is like literally one of the best actresses, and I cannot believe she's never won an Academy Award. And the best part is, guess how old she was in this movie?
I'm gonna guess like 35, maybe. I don't know.
26.
Jeez, that's kind of like M Night's age too.
Really? Was he that young when he made this?
He was like 28 or 29.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Yeah,
right?
he was 29 when he made this. Toni Collette, when I just look at her though, I'm like, I feel like she's older than us now, but she's like 7 years or 6 years younger than us. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Perfect casting for this film. Perfect casting.
Dude, I mean, she's Australian. Her accent is like spot on. I mean, you would never know that she didn't grow up in America. I mean, she's such
Yeah.
an amazing actress. But anyways, I could talk about her all night.
Yeah, I would also love to. Toni Collette's amazing, but I would also love to figure out the process of casting this movie and how secret the script must have been.
Yeah, I wonder.
You know?
Well, it's one of the biggest twists in modern cinema. I mean, for sure.
It's up there with Vader when it comes to like twists.
Yeah, and then it's got such unbelievable rewatch value after the first time you see it. You're like, I immediately wanna watch this movie again.
Yeah.
'Cause you just it's like Fight Club or something like that. It's just this huge, unbelievable twist at the end that you're just like, "How did I miss that?"
Yeah.
And, that's kind of what M. Night Shyamalan's become synonymous with, is, like, massive subverting the expectations of the audience.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like Bruce Willis got the script, Toni Collette, and they all got the script, and it was just like immediately like I'm doing this movie. I'm sure that was it. I'm curious if Bruce Willis wasn't the only one. Yeah, he must have been the only person he went up to and asked to be in this film.
I bet. I mean, I mean, for sure the most recognizable actor at that time, but I would love to listen to the commentary track on this film and just
Yeah, yeah,
hear what happened. And yeah, exactly. The casting, like Haley Joel Osment, that must have been such an endeavor to get him, because it's not just about his line delivery, it's about like what he's not saying so much. What an unbelievable actor he is too.
yeah. I mean, and like you said, coming off of Forrest Gump and Pay It Forward, he definitely had the launch pad to get into a film like this.
Right. And then right after this, he goes into Kingdom Hearts. He plays Sora.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to his career really, but he definitely changed from acting into voice acting for a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything recently. I mean, I think he might have gone the way of a lot of child stars where it's, like,
Probably,
really
yeah.
good as a kid, but kinda disappears.
I haven't seen the movies, but I've seen he's been acting again in, like, a couple other, like, Netflix movies and stuff like that, so that's kinda cool.
Yeah, he's still out there.
Sixth Sense too, could The Seventh Sense
Oh my
coming out with
god.
Haley Joe, yeah, let's
They
do it.
do I actually have a sequel idea. Do you wanna hear it?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Alright, alright. So it's a little bit of a tie-in, okay? But I kinda feel like The Sixth Sense is kind of like The Shining, where it's like maybe Haley Joel Osment grows up and he meets Danny Torrance in the future, and he's like, "That thing that you have is the shine," or whatever, and it kind of, like,
Hmm,
morphs like Doctor Sleep with The Sixth Sense.
love it, love it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't seen this movie in 20 years. I forgot that Donnie Wahlberg also had the Vincent Gray, I think the kid was name was.
Yeah.
He also had the ability to talk to dead people.
Right. Yeah, they do. Yeah, because he can in the recording later, you hear the Spanish ghost talking to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never caught that until I'm 32.
Well, Donnie Wahlberg, you forget he's in it because he's just like
Doesn't look like him.
no, he looks so emanciated, or, what
Emancipated.
emancipated. He looks so emancipated and just, like, freaky and, like, so out of character for him. He's usually this, like, "Yeah, like, I'm going through a divorce, I'm smoking cigarettes, I got my kid here, but I don't really want him." Like, he's always playing that kinda guy, but for
Mm,
this, very out of character for him and, interesting. You're like, "Is that him? That's him! Oh my god, that's him." It's like,
yeah.
good job."
That Vincent Gray thing, like, really, like, caught me off. I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot he had the same power." So I'm thinking of a sequel idea for that would be, like, more people like him get together and try to, like, solve a crime or something insane, like a
Mm.
national historic issue, I think would be really cool, and Haley Joe's, like, kinda the leader and, like, the most powerful.
Oh, you could do like a almost like that South Park episode where it's like
Yeah.
there's a couple fake people that are, like, trying to pretend they can see things and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, also when this movie came out, if you're like a psychic, like what's his name, like John Edward, I think was a big psychic, and you see this movie, you're like, jackpot! Looks like business just got good, like right after this movie came out.
Basically, because
It's a
everybody
good.
wants to talk to psychics and, like, "You could talk to ghosts like the movie."
So yes, 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 Haley Joel and me, yes.
Yeah.
No, but like that would be a cool idea for a movie. But like, imagine Haley Joe's like a good one, and like there's bad ones
Yeah.
that use it to like steal money and like find out where like treasure is and stuff. I don't know.
Dude, 100%. They should make that. I mean, everybody's still alive, obviously. I mean, Bruce Willis isn't really acting anymore, but his character's dead, but Toni Collette's still alive, Haley Joel
His
Osment.
character's dead. Yeah, I forgot, like yeah, no, that's like, yeah, how do you bring it? I mean, maybe he, like, comes in at the end and, like, saves the day. I don't know,
Yeah, it could be like a Obi-Wan sort of thing where he, like, talks to him as a ghost still, like, in his future, and I don't
because
dude.
his job's not done yet. He has to come back to Earth as, like, a tortured soul, you know?
Yeah, and he's like, "Why are you aging? Aren't you a ghost?" He's like, "Shut up."
Hello.
Yeah, so that dude, I think this really there is sequel potential, and M. Night Shyamalan's not against sequels. He made Unbreakable, and then he made Split and Glass and all of those, so those are like that's like a whole, like, franchise he's doing, so he does sequels, you know?
Doesn't need a sequel, but I'm not opposed to it. I feel
Ah,
like he probably has it in the bank, like, if my career takes an absolute nosedive and
well,
I need money somehow, M. Night would be like, "Alright, looks like it's time for, the Seventh Sense to come out." Like, he talks to animals now too and stuff, I don't know. It's like the
well,
Seventh Sense, it's another layer.
I mean, that probably would happen
No,
actually,
no, it's
but
too
it's
crazy.
it's kinda sad though, because like, people really shit on M. Night Shyamalan, and, like, I don't know, man, like, if you look back at his career, dude has got some good
Yeah, I
movies.
like Signs, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies he's done.
Like, The Village gets so much shit, and you're like, "Dude, The
Pretty good.
Village." Yeah, Unbreakable, The Village, this, obviously, like, he had, like, 6 really strong movies, and then, yeah, The Happening wasn't great, Lady in Water was okay, but then I think that last Airbender movie, people just went
Yeah, it's
nuts.
like, "This guy, what is he doing?"
Yeah, and since then, it's been he's been making little splashes, though. I saw that movie, I can't remember what it's called, The Grandparents or something, where it's like a found footage, and I saw that, and it was okay. It wasn't bad.
I wanna put on the next wheel. What's that one where it's, like, old
Oh,
or
yeah.
older?
I've heard that's great.
I kinda wanna see that. I'm sure that one's great. It
Dude,
looks cool.
he's got talent, and it sucks that people are turning him into, like, the Nickelback of directors. They're like, "Ugh."
Yeah, well, it's like the first time you're at bat, you hit a grand slam. It's like your career's always gonna be up to that, like, pedestal, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. It's almost like Quentin Tarantino did it right where he has, like, Reservoir Dogs, which is, like, really good, and people really liked it, and then he comes out with Pulp Fiction, people are
Right.
like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah, so if he hit up if he did, like, Signs first and then this, or, like, The Village first, then this, it's like, "Well, this guy's legit. His first movie was okay, but this movie," you know, like
Right, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. He set his bar so high that it was
Yeah.
always gonna be failure. I don't know if you noticed the 2 executive producers from this. Did you see the
I
names?
did not, I did not.
Oh, you ready? It's the, woman who's single-handedly, dismantling Star Wars.
Kathleen Kennedy?
Kathleen Kennedy and Mr.
Jeez.
Frank Marshall.
No shit. No shit.
So, yeah, because this was a Buena Vista film, which is like a Disney distribution company. So,
Right.
they were the executive producers. You're like, "Look at you, Kathleen
Ah.
Kennedy, getting your little mitts in this too."
Yep. Well, she's in Jurassic Park. She's been involved with all kinds of movies.
I know. She should direct a film. We should see what her movie turns out like. But anyways. But yeah, so the film, if you haven't seen this movie, like, you just shut this off and go watch this movie because
Well,
what?
it's funny you said that. Shannon's never seen it, my wife.
Really?
She came home the night, like, "Hey, just heads up, I'm recording a podcast with Alec around, like, 10 tonight." She's like, "Cool, like, what movie?" And, like, The Sixth Sense. She's like, "What movie's that?" And I was like, "That's, like, Bruce Willis and, like, Young Forrest." And she's like, "I've never seen that one." And then I'm like, my ears started to perk up. I was like, "You know the ending, right?" She's like, "No." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, shit." And then she's like, "Oh, yeah, isn't he, like, dead at the end of the movie?" I'm like, "Fuck."
uh,
That would have been like, you are like a hidden You've been under a rock. You have not had this spoiled to you. This is probably
yeah.
the most spoiled movie, especially with the songs that come out and all the stuff that's, I See Dead People and all like the parodies that have come out over the years.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
how do you not know he's dead now?
I mean, this movie is like you, like, had to actively not wanna see it probably, because, like, it was so popular. I remember, like, I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember renting it and being
It's
terrified.
scary.
Yeah, but then, I was like 11 and now rewatching, I'm like, "This is just amazing." But when you're a kid, you think the
You're
ghosts
scared.
are, like, hurting him and, like, you don't know anything about this movie really. But dude, this movie, the budget was 40,000,000, it made
Yeah,
672,000,000. Like,
set for life.
yeah, so this movie was everywhere. So I'm pretty surprised Shannon never saw it even, 'cause it came out in '99, so it's been out for, like, 23 years now. So it's a great
Yeah.
movie, nominated for 6 Academy Awards.
I think she would actually like it. I've recommended a few movies that she's liked lately. So,
Oh, yeah.
not all horror. And I mean, this is kind of more than horror. This is romantic. This is drama. It's
Yeah,
so much more than just horror.
it is.
And the horror goes away, especially after he helps out that first girl. I'm not scared anymore after that.
Right, because that's the turning point where he finally realizes, "Oh, like, they're coming to me because I can help them," sort of thing. But was there any part of the movie that, like, really scared you before realizing what's going on?
I mean, the suicide mother in the kitchen freaked me out as a kid, like running. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that really freaked me out as a kid. But
Yeah.
and like he's going to the bathroom and someone walks by like that. I remember being in theaters and that was the first time we saw any ghost, and it's an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
So I was very scared of that.
Yeah, that's scary, especially when we're kids too. Because 'cause I'm like, "I've done that, I pee like that,
Yeah, like I pee fast now. Like
Yeah.
1999 was like the quickest pees ever. But how about you?
The scariest parts, dude, are when that, like, guy's yelling at him when he's in the attic or whatever. He's just like, "The master doesn't know, like, I didn't do it, get it." And he's just the guttural screaming coming from Haley Joel Osment. That part really got me. And then the first time you see Misha Barton, like, throwing up under the bed, that freaked me out so bad when I was a kid, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That was kinda scary, but then, like, right then is the turning point when you're like, "Oh, she's sick."
Yeah, and, what a messed up scene that is, like, you're at
Yeah.
the funeral of a dead girl, and you see the mom is poisoning her daughter, and it's like, that is so messed
Do you know what line I heard that in the as they're, like, going through the funeral, someone else says, "Did you hear the little one's falling ill now?"
yeah,
So she's poisoning the younger sister too,
eh,
right now.
not anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So, not only did he just, like, free her soul, but he also just saved the young sister.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I never caught that.
right? I know, yeah, so, that's just so messed up that, like, there could be parents out there that are like, "I want the attention of a sick child, I want the attention of a dead child," like, all of this like, that's so messed up to
Well,
think about.
who wears red to a funeral too? Come on.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't
come on.
even notice that.
Wearing red, well, that's the sign, red is like, I read this online, is like a part of this movie. Whenever you see red, like the red balloon, his
Mm.
red tent, that's like a signal for this movie. It's like a trigger.
Oh, trigger of what though? Like,
I
just
don't know. I just like red is like what he and also the cold. Like whenever we see like the cold, like that's clear as day.
yeah. Well, it's funny, because you notice looking back, like, Bruce Willis is dead or whatever, and you see people shivering randomly when he's around, and you're just like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then later you're like, "Oh, ghosts make the rooms cold, I get it."
Yeah.
Looking back, though, there are a couple scenes where I just don't really understand, like, Bruce Willis, he doesn't know he's a ghost, okay? And there's the one line where he's at dinner where he says, "I'm sorry, I'm having trouble keeping track of time," or whatever. So I'm like, "Okay, maybe he's a ghost, so he's, like, genuinely doesn't know what's going on anymore." But like, I'm trying to imagine the scene where Toni Collette and Bruce Willis are sitting there and Haley Joel Osment comes in and they're not talking or whatever. Like, what does he think's going on? How did he get into the house? Does he remember going into the house, like, opening the door, like, any of this stuff?
That's the kicker, really, because that you think that's not explained, but like the kid Cole, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Cole, I'm not gonna say Haley Joel Osment anymore. Cole says the line, "They only see what they want to see," and that line pretty much covers all bases after that. So Bruce
Yeah.
Willis is wandering and seeing only what he wants to see.
So do you think, like, in his mind, he's seeing, like, "How you
Yes.
doing, Mrs. Blah, 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 like, I'm here for
Yep.
Joel," and she's actually responding to him, but he's only seeing what he wants to see?
Yeah, I guess
Hmm.
so. It's kinda
Yeah.
weird, like, how does he get into a house and be like, "Hey, Mrs." and she's not answering him, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and he doesn't.
"Hey, like, I'm here to see your kid." Like, there's none of that.
Exactly, so I'm like, he just appears places, like, how does he, like, nobody calls him and says, "Hey, Cole just got in trouble at school, we're gonna reprimand him, you need to come talk to him as a psychiatrist," like, that doesn't happen, so how does he just magically know, "Oh, I should go to the hospital now because this kid just got, like, beat up by ghosts at that
Mm.
birthday party," you know?
Also, how further along are we, from his death? Were you like a year later,
It
6
says
months
that.
later? What does it say?
Well, it says the next fall, so
A year later.
well, we don't know because we don't know when he got killed, so it could have been in, like, February of that year he got killed, so it's, like, the following fall, so within a year for sure.
Right. So it's just like he's a tortured soul, but his soul somehow gets linked to Cole because Cole is exactly like Vincent Gray.
Mhm.
But also, do you think Cole knows he's dead the whole time too?
Yeah, I do, I do.
You have to assume like he's a ghost, but like Haley Joel probably like Cole. I'm gonna say Cole probably like isn't scared of him.
I think he knows, man, because he knows everybody that's a ghost. Like, he knows when people are coming up to him and talking to him, like, he's aware of when they're ghosts or whatever, but this guy's, like, really nice to him. Like, the first time he talks to him, he's like, "Is that Latin? Like, I like your toys," or whatever, and he's like, "You wanna play a game?" Like, he's friendly. He's not like all the other ones that are, like, their faces are melted or bloody or they're, like,
Yeah.
screaming at him.
Also, he just got like his kidneys blown out. He doesn't really have any other like deformity that's kind of like freaking, like.
Yeah, it's just a bullet wound in his stomach, but I guess a little bit back to the Bruce Willis thing, like, so he thinks that his wife is just like, "Hey, you got shot, and now I'm mad at you," because he doesn't think he's dead, so he's just like, You're not gonna talk to me at all? You're gonna act like we just live in
Well,
the same house and you don't talk to me just because I got shot?"
they kind of set that up where in the beginning she's like, "I'm just like second to you. I want to be first to you."
Right.
And he's like, "My job's important." Like she's like, "You've done enough. Like you've got an award. You've been recognized. Like now it's time for us." And then he gets shot, and so you still got to think like she's just mad because like she went through this traumatic thing, and it's still because of his job. And it's like that's what he's probably thinking. Like she thinks I'm putting her second still, but really
I
I'm
know.
trying to help this kid because I couldn't help Vincent.
It is justified, but I still sit there and think, like, if I was the wife and, like, whatever, my husband was doing all this stuff, I'd be like, "Alright, let's talk. Like, you got shot. Like, clearly, you need to pump the brakes on your job a little bit." But, like, he's dead, so obviously we can't see that, but, like, in his mind, is he sitting there and just being like, "The fuck? Like, I'm sorry I got shot. I'm sorry that I tried my job," and, like, all this stuff, like,
Well, he's late to their anniversary. There's that scene.
he's dead.
I know, but, like, he's playing like, "Oh, I'm late. I'm sorry I'm late," and she's just ignoring him when really he's just dead,
Yeah.
you know? But, like, that's what, like he's, like, almost creating scenarios in his head 'cause it's like what Cole said, like, they only see what they wanna see.
I know. It's almost like I kinda wanna see him interacting with people, and then we find out that's all in his head, as opposed to, like, him just
Well
showing up places and people not reacting to him.
well, there's the door too, he wants to get to the basement, and he's only seeing that the door is locked. He's
Yeah.
not seeing that there's a bookcase blocking it. So, there's tricks like that.
You have to fill in the blanks. You do have
Yeah,
to kind of fill that in a little bit yourself, but, like, overall, I think the surprise of him being dead, you're just like, "I don't care about anything, this is awesome." Like, I
yeah.
don't care.
Still just really sad in general. It's like, "Oh, man, he did die." And, like, his wife is a widow, and
Ugh, his wife is just a mess, dude. Like, a year later, she's just watching their wedding video, like, every night. It's like, "Okay, this isn't healthy.
yeah,
You gotta try something." If you don't wanna date that other guy, that's fine, but, like, you gotta do something because this is not the way to do it.
I wish there was, like, a one more piece to this movie where Cole, like, shows up to the wife's house with
Yeah,
something and just says, like, "Your husband wanted me to tell you something, and he's here now," and, like, kinda, like, that's where his, like, psychic, almost medium career starts to
I
some
love
degree.
that.
It kinda and, like, he kinda just tells her, like, he wanted you to know that you're number 1.
Dude, he could tell the story that he tells him right before the I See Dead People thing where he's, like, telling a bedtime story. He's just like, "And then my wife, they're like strangers now, they don't even talk anymore." And he's telling that story in third person. He could just
Yeah.
tell that basically.
That's what I think happens next. We don't see it happening, but that's, like, in my head, I like to picture, like, that happening.
Yeah. No, that's a really that really should have been in the movie. That could have been the final scene, is just him, the doorbell rings or whatever, and he's there, and like that.
It's just him by himself and his, like, dad's glasses or something, or his fa
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that would have been really good.
And it's we never get closure with those 2. It's like we're Cole's never gonna see Bruce Willis again? Like, that's it?
Well,
Like, that they're
it, like,
done?
fades to white when he, like, sits with his
Yeah.
wife or whatever, and they have that, like, he does talk to her when she's sleeping, like,
Well,
Cole.
no, but Cole and Bruce Willis, like, now Bruce Willis's job is done, and, like,
Yeah.
he's gone. But, like, there's no, like, goodbye or anything, but, like, I like to play that in my head, like, there's a little bit more possibly there.
Yeah. No, that's a really good that should have been a scene, like, it really should have been. That would have been awesome. Let me ask you, though, you're Bruce Willis's wife, okay? Your husband gets murdered in your house. Do you stay?
I mean, it looks like she's in the process of moving. It looks like it, dude. It
Did
looks
it?
like it. It's more empty, I'd say. Like, things are kinda blocked off. I would say she's in the process of moving finally.
You get out of that house. Like,
Yeah, I mean, dude, it takes a while, but, like
dude, your husband got shot in your bedroom.
yeah, but you don't just sell it that week. It's like, "Oh, well, you should put in new floors if you wanna get money, like, you should do this," like
I mean, I'm assuming he had a pretty good life insurance policy. Just get out of that house, like,
back
go
in the
stay with a
day.
friend. Dude, I could never sleep in a house where my spouse was murdered.
Well,
Like,
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's tough for her to go back in, like, the bedroom and or wherever that was, the office or whatever.
I wouldn't even wanna walk on that street, man.
That's also one of the only connections she has to him now, is that place. So, there's that as well.
It's a murder, though. It's
I know,
whatever,
I
whatever.
know.
Yeah, it's just like I'd be like, "I wanna get as far away from this as possible because clearly she's not able to move on. I mean, she does sleep on the couch, it seems like most nights, falling asleep to their wedding
Yeah,
video.
well, there's that, she probably can't go in the bedroom.
Oh god, what is this? Just horrible.
It's sad, it's a sad movie, I forgot how sad it
What's
was.
sad for every dude, it's sad on so many levels, not even just the ghost stuff and Bruce Willis, but, like,
The little girl dying, like, oh my god,
that,
like
but Toni Collette's like, "I'm sorry I couldn't make it to your play, I have to work 2 jobs," like, all this and you're just like, "Oh my god," like, they can't catch a break for 1 second, anything.
yeah.
Also wanted to ask you, I think probably the beginning, which is just like, what is this movie? Is when, Joel's eating breakfast and Toni Collette leaves for 5 seconds and comes back and all of the drawers, all of the cabinets are open, and you're just like, "What is this movie? Like, what is this gonna be? Is it a possession movie? Is he the kid doing is he like Damien? Like, what is this?"
Yeah, that was a cool scene, but, like, you get the sense that when that happens, he doesn't know what to say without sounding like a lunatic.
Right.
So
Yeah.
she, like, asks him, "Were you looking for something?" Because
Yeah.
like, in an impossible way, how the hell do you open all these cabinets in 6 seconds
Yeah, yeah.
and, like, sit back down and you're not out of breath, you know?
There's no sound either, so it's just like they just all
Yeah.
fly open at once.
So like, it's a gift, but for him, it's a curse. He has to, like, lie about it so he doesn't seem like he's a freak.
Yeah, man, it's oh god,
And
and
he's working on it. He's not great at it yet because he says the thing in class where he's like, "They hanged people here." And it's like,
mhm,
"Dude, like, come on, man. These kids are gonna pick on you."
that scene's amazing, dude, with the
Yeah.
teacher and him finding out that he's like, "You're a stuttering Stanley," and, like, all that stuff. But yeah, you're right, it's like, "Dude, stop screaming stuttering Stanley," like,
How do you think he found that out?
a ghost told him.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, like, what do you think, from the fire or whatever?
Maybe, yeah, because that
Yeah.
the fire lady worked in the woman who died in the fire worked at the theater department, and he's in the theater department, so maybe she told him, you know?
Or maybe he was a kid when the fire happened, and I don't know. It's like there's a lot of stuff in there that you fill in yourself, like, oh, maybe he finally, like, gets along with the teacher because he knows the sad, like, fire he went through or something. I don't know.
Because the teacher even says when he's walking Joel out to the stage, he's like, "Yeah, when I was a little boy, there was a fire in this side of the theater, and they had to rebuild it all." So, that teacher obviously has a big the side of her head is burnt, and she died in that fire, so it's like those little things really do just it's yeah.
Yeah, but he fixes his relationship with that teacher
Yeah.
because it ends like, "You freak," remember?
Yeah.
And, like, it's nice to see that they're getting along now too.
Right,
So,
right. Dude, I have this movie on DVD. I watched it on Amazon, but I should see if there's deleted scenes and just, like, be like, "I wonder if there's more to that," or even, like, the thing you're talking about, like
that I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? But the ending's great. The ending is great. I'm not knocking the ending. I would just personally, I would like just a hint more of Cole or closure to the wife. That's what I would want.
No, yeah, I mean, I think there is room for sequel potential here. I mean, there's definitely some scenes that you're like, "Fuck, that actually really would add a lot." Yeah, man, overall, this is, like, one of the best horror movies, like, easily of the last 25 years, and,
Mhm.
I mean, it really makes you think about 1999, like, on the whole. I mean, you got Fight Club with a huge twist, you've got this with a huge twist, obviously, we've got Star Wars: Phantom Menace, but '99 was a great year for movies.
Was that 99? Phantom Menace?
Yeah, are you kidding?
I always thought it was like 97 in my
N
head. I
no,
don't
that's
know.
that's the re-releases. That's the
Oh, right,
'97 of the
right.
original trilogy with all the special effects. But yeah, no, I've always heard that '99 is, like, one of the best years of cinema, and I
Yeah.
think this is one of those movies. This is one of the movies that makes it that year such a great year.
I saw this that year. I saw obviously Phantom Menace. Fight Club I didn't see until I was in high school.
Yeah, I was probably in, yeah, middle school maybe, but what else came out in '99? Oh, the South Park movie? Huh? Huh? Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's
Yeah.
last film, huh? Huh?
Alright. It's a good year. It's a good year.
Yeah, '99, bruh, '99.
Wow. Who else could have played the part of Bruce Willis?
Hmm. So he's like a he's kinda playing like his Die Hard character a little bit, just like a gruff cop kinda thing, but he's
Mm,
obviously a child psychiatrist. Clint Eastwood?
he's a little old for I don't know, maybe. It could work, could work. I was thinking and he's a little old too for this, but Jack Nicholson would be really cool.
Yeah, and he kinda did that in Anger Management, like, he was a psychiatrist in that, so I mean, just tone it down, you know?
Yeah, showing him that he's the same character as Erik and
No, no, no.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, well, Jack Nicholson and Clint Eastwood are, like, comparable in age. I think they're both in their
Yeah, they're in there.
mid-80s.
I think, yeah. Is Bruce Willis in his 80s?
No, 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 Bruce Willis is in his 70s for sure. Let's
Jackson is 80s, I think now. I think he
yeah.
just hit 80.
Alright, wait, let's find out, hold on. Alright, so Bruce Willis is 67, okay,
Yep,
so
makes sense.
and it's sad, he's got aphasia, there that, early dementia, I think, but Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson, I'm gonna guess Jack Nicholson is 85. Let's find out,
I'm gonna say 82.
he is 85! Oh my god, I was right.
Oh my god, he's up there.
He's born 1937. Alright, and then what do you think Clint Eastwood? I'm gonna say Clint Eastwood is 91.
I'm gonna say 98.
No, 98! No, no, no.
98.
He's 91! Dude, I'm on fire.
Oh my god,
I
I'm so bad.
swear to
Why did I
God
say
I did.
98? He's just like, oh my god.
No, he just did Cry Macho, which he was directed and acted in. So if he was 98, no.
It's like, good lord.
Yeah, so he was born in 1930 and Jack Nicholson was born in 1937. So I think they could have I think they are old.
That's possible. But Bruce Willis, dude,
He's best. He's the best. Yeah.
I do want to know, like I said this at the start of the podcast, how the casting went. And
Yeah.
if Bruce Willis was the first one they went up to, and how quickly he said, absolutely doing this movie.
Well, let me ask you this, and don't be biased because we just watched it, but today's episode of Wheel of Horror is sponsored by Bard's Clothing. Remember that one time you bought a Cool Cat shirt? And now you get bombarded with calls and ads for Cool Cat shirts. At Bard's Clothing, the focus is on you and your story. A custom clothing company producing casual knits, button-down shirts, suits, and much more. All of Bard's clothing garments are created right here in America, so you don't have to worry about slave labor or killing the environment. Buying with intention to tell your story has never been easier. Go to bardsclothing.com to book an appointment and be sure to follow them at Bards Clothing on Instagram. Is this Bruce Willis's best movie? Let's just think before you say yes. There's Pulp Fiction, there's Fifth Element, there's Die Hard. So there's a lot of other movies, but
I mean, dude, action is one thing, you know, like Die Hard is probably good. He's probably gonna be most remembered for Die Hard, but I'm trying to think of other ones. This has to be like Die Hard 1, this is like a close second. If not, this is a first, Die Hard's a second. You know what I mean?
yeah, dude, you know what? I think this is
Pulp
it.
Fiction, he's not the main character at all.
Right, right. That's true. Yeah, in Armageddon, he's also not the main character. And Armageddon's not that amazing anyways, but this I think is his best movie, man, where it's like he's
Probably.
basically the lead. I mean, he basically is. And it's drama, but it's like comedy, dude. Like he's funny, man. When he says that line where he's just like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the other Italian restaurant I proposed to you at." Like he's just got these,
He's got that Philly city with him, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, he's got that, like, "I'll tell you this, like, you take one step forward, like, and he's very smooth with his work, and
yeah,
I think he really worked hard at trying to be a psychiatrist.
yeah,
I love that scene too where he's, like, with the tape recorder, and he's just like, "Possible needs medication, possible this," and he clicks the recorder off,
yeah.
and then he says something
And
like
I'm not helping him.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was such a cool scene.
Yeah, dude, I think this is his best movie. I mean, Die Hard's super fun, and he's really great in that, but, like, this is, like, a really good film, and it really showcases his abilities. Last thing I just wanna mention really quick, I'm seeing this on his Wikipedia. In 2015, he starred in the Broadway stage adaptation of Misery.
No, as the writer?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool. I'd like to see that, actually.
I could see him being good in that. I
Yeah,
can really see him being good in that.
yeah, as the writer just, like, tied up. Oh, dude, that would've been
Who's his, who plays, Kathy Bates' character, does it say in that adaptation?
fuck, nah, it just goes right to the book when you click on where it says he did the stage and you click on it, just brings you right to the book, so
Curious about that, but yeah, you don't have to look that up.
yeah, I don't know, unfortunately. But anyways, this is definitely a movie you guys need to check out. If I'm sure if you're listening to this, you have seen this movie. If you like horror, you've seen this movie. I mean, this is such a good movie. Even though it's been ruined, it's you still need to watch it
Yeah, if you can find a way to not have it spoiled
as a kid, maybe.
as a kid, like, I'd let my 10-year-old watch this, that's when I watched it. If they're, like, into horror or into, like, can, like, not have to sleep with me if I share them something scary,
Mm,
definitely would. This movie's
yeah.
fantastic. I'd give it dude, 9.3 Keanu's, 100%.
Yeah, I think a nine is fair, dude. I mean, it's great. It's really and it's short too. It's not even that long.
Pace is perfect. I will say
Yeah.
this though, one joke, at the end of the movie, last final thought, you know how, like, it does the an M. Night Shyamalan film at the end?
Yeah.
But, like, the text comes on, like, one piece at a time, like, M. Night Shyamalan film, you know what I mean? I was like, "Alright, dude, let's not, like, break our arms jerking ourselves off too hard, like, we get it, you made a great movie." No, but I'm joking, but,
Yeah,
like, that was, like, it's like, "Okay, dude, yeah, you
yeah.
did it." And then, like, underlines as it's going, like, "Alright, relax," and, like, flowers are coming out. It's like, "Alright, like, we get it." Yeah, but it's like his picture comes up too, it's like, "Oh, okay, we get it, that's you." And his, like, resume pops up, it's like, "Okay, dude, we get it." No. No, but he deserves all the praise. This is an amazing movie.
Well, anyways, what do you say spin the wheel, Eric?
Let's spin the wheels.
Yeah, we're getting to the end here.
Yeah, dude, end of the wheel almost. Only a couple left. Spinning. Firestarter. We actually got the new one first, but do you want to do the old one first?
I think the new one's only in theaters, right?
No, it's out. It's on Peacock too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, like, out and we can watch it, then yeah, let's do the new one, if that's what we got.
Okay, let's do. That's what we got.
So, I haven't seen the old one either.
I haven't either, but like didn't know if we want to watch the old one first, but let's do the new one. Zac Efron. Let's do it.
Alright, yeah, if it's on Peacock, alright, yeah,
It's
let's
on
do it.
Peacock. Let's watch it. Hell yeah. I'm very excited to watch this.
Yeah,
Maybe
dude.
maybe we get Dom on?
Oh, well, yeah, he's the Stephen King guy, so
Hell yeah. Hell
alright,
yeah.
sweet. Alright, everybody, well, thank you very much for listening in today on our episode on The Sixth Sense. If you haven't had a chance yet, on Friday, for Friday the 13th, we covered Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 6 with Joe Testa, and then, last Monday, we covered what did we cover?
Prom night.
Prom Night. Prom Night, check it out. Anyways, we'll see everybody next week with Firestarter.
Woo!